there, welcome back to Endless Legend Multiplayer. In this episode I'm going to be showcasing my custom faction that I made. It's called the Forest Hobos, which for funsies I called my my Let's Play of the Vanilla Forest Hobos. What they have is basically everything that reduces dust production, because of course they're hobos, and they have increased food and industry, as well as cellulose mutation. Actually, let me just go over this. They have Brace Yourself, reducing trade power. They have Cellulose Mutation, giving them cheaper districts, in the same way that necrophages can build districts with one population. They also have Living Towns, giving them 1 extra production on terrain with forest. Pitiless, making them unable to sign peace or do anything diplomatic. In multiplayer, this is pretty much a useless skill anyway, unless you count Language Square, of course, which is a very strong ability. But we wanted our custom faction to be perfect, so there you go. Of course, we have to get cannon fodder, because otherwise we're going to go bankrupt instantly the moment we build a single unit. And then we have dust inefficiency, of course, since less dust is always good. Food efficient to help us grow even faster, and industry efficient to make us just broken. Just straight up broken. If we land in the forest region, which we have to land in the forest region because we are the Wild Walkers and the game is programmed to land you into a forest region, you're gonna do well. And then we have science inefficient, which doesn't really matter since we're gonna build districts everywhere. And we have spendthrifts, making us pretty frickin' broken. Actually, well, let me just ideal fits placement, and I'm gonna set time battles on as well, since otherwise it's gonna take forever. Setup is going to make me really poor, and I'm going to be dependent on selling units, which we're going to produce at an alarming rate. I'm going to sell those to the market and make money that way, and that's also the only reason we're not going to go bankrupt every single turn. So, there you go. And just as a video to show you how broken custom factions are. Custom factions are broken in general. This isn't even the brokest thing you can do. I just figured I'd showcase the Forest Hobo brokiness because, well, I did a Let's Play of those, so. Yep. Well, we could go with 5. Anyway. I'm gonna go ahead and chipmunk the rest of this video. Alright, well, hello there. I'm sorry, there was no way I was going to do this any differently, so I was forced to listen to myself for about 5 minutes. I guess I'll add an annotation in, so that you can skip ahead. We are playing against Lex 8, who never talks, so not much to say about him. He always plays the roving clans, he plays very defensively, and just techs and makes a lot of dust. Then we have MMOGOG, Wrath, who are both subscribers. MMOGOG is playing as the Volters, and the other guy is playing as the Cultists. And this game was epic, holy shit. Played this last night, it lasted for 4 hours, so I'm gonna split it into 2 videos. And look at this, we're growing in 1 turn and we're finishing the public thing, the mill foundry in 1 turn. I mean the Farmers Memorial. Just gonna get some standard production text right there. And we're gonna try and scout around. As you can see, we're already losing quite a bit of dust. even though we're not doing anything weird. It's just that we make no dust at all. That's going to become a problem later, but a problem we will fix. Yeah, he's asking if we should auto. I like to auto, but then again I don't like to auto. That's because I was playing as the Roving Clans in my Roving Clans playthrough, and I lost a level 10 demon in an auto battle that said I was going to win with like 75% chance. So I got really upset about that, and I got a bit traumatized. So we get our settler out at turn 5, which is just freaking baller. And the regions that surround us aren't very good, which is kind of sad, not gonna lie. So we're just gonna have to settle whatever. So we're gonna settle there because it has some forests, but mostly because there's lots of anomalies there. There's lots of anomalies everywhere because I put that setting on. I like putting that setting on. We are forced to put some of our dudes onto dust because otherwise we'll go bankrupt, and here we're going bankrupt anyway. I wanted to settle the city because since we were going bankrupt, I didn't want him to disband my settler. Like, there was a risk for that, and I didn't want to take that risk, so I just decided to settle, and the game decided to sell both of my units. Oh, what did you expect? We were playing the forest hobos. Of course we were gonna go bankrupt. Now, this is kind of shit, but I managed to survive because I got 3 hits on him before he reached me, so that was pretty good. And let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna beeline towards that that tree over there. We have cellulose mutations, so as I explained before, we can get 1 district for every 1 population. That's pretty damn good. That region is pretty bad as well. Again, very little forests, very little production, so we don't get a lot of bonuses from our custom faction there. But it does have some glass steel, and I really want it. So that's why we're going over there. Now in multiplayer, you don't really want to expand all over the place, because if you expand all over the place, then everyone's going to know exactly where you are. And not only that, it's going to be really difficult to defend, so I like to keep things compact at the start of the game. Simply because it's easier to defend, it's easier to snowball, build it up to a high level. So that's why I like to do that. Now we enter H2 and we immediately get cannon fodder and some of this production stuff. And then we'll start working on getting our stack together. Now this game lasted for 4 hours, so you know it's not going to be an early rush troll. But that's all I'm gonna say. We get out some dudes to fight these roaming armies that are eating my vagina right now. That's not very pleasant because they're not very good at it. And not only that, if I build a couple of units and sell them, I can make quite a bit of money. Now, the thing that you want to do, but what I didn't have the patience for, is fill up all of your garrisons with units and then sell them, unless you go bankrupt, in which case you'll sell 1 unit to stay above drowning. Because if you sell all your units at the same turn, then you're still going to get full price for them. Whereas if you would sell them all one by one, the price will slowly drop, so you need to sell in bulk. That's pretty much the gist of it. Because selling units is going to be your main source of income with this custom faction. But it should be more than enough, and arguably it's just more than if you were to focus on dust. Like I explained in my Broken Lords playthrough, 1 production is worth 2.5 dust. So if you can sell a unit for full price, well, you, Master Mariadoc, going to make a pretty penny. We're stuck at 3 cities now. We're going to try to grow cults by putting everything on food, and the plan is to build a whole bunch of units and then sell them and use the money to rush buy the stuff in cults. Now we got our empire plan coming up, and we have to get the coming empire plan in the way that we're going to get the coming empire plan, which I will explain in just a bit. Because you have cellulose mutation, you're going to build a lot of districts, and because you want to snowball, you don't want to build them in the perfect setting where you build a double line or a triangle, because you kind of want to just get as much of those super tiles as you can, and you will have super tiles because well, you are industry efficient, food efficient, and you have living towns. So these forests are, by all means of the word, super tiles. They're basically those big tree anomalies, but everywhere. So yeah, you kind of want to get that. So you need to get your empire plan to have at least that 20% approval, and you probably want the central market and the sewer system as well, because otherwise there's no way you're going to stay above happy or content, one or the other, depending what your preferences, of course. Now there's not a whole lot going on here in the early game. I'm just building up my cities. If you look at the turn, it's turn 22, and I already have 4 extra districts in my capital. That's pretty damn good. As far as I know, the only thing that can beat that is the necrophages if you remove agriculturally challenged. And you know, that's pretty good. Now, Juno Jah of Death dies there, making MMOGOG out of sync. I'm just gonna call him Magog because I'm not gonna say MMOGOG the whole time. So that made Magog out of sync, but we kind of banked on the fact that if we pressed enter and then not moved, it kind of fixes problems. So we check out that area. It has some titanium. It has 4 food tiles, 4 9 food tiles, which is pretty damn good. So we'll go ahead and sell there. Now the ruin is a little bit in the way. If that ruin wasn't there, we probably would have settled near the coast to pick up those forests. But you know, shit happened, and we decided to settle right in the middle. This particular game was probably one of the worst for this custom faction. I mean, we had so little of the terrain that we really wanted to get. Now that region to the east was probably better, the region with the Kirators in it, next to Ardim, the southeast of Ardim, that probably would have been better, but you know. I was being a little stubborn and not expanding because I didn't want them to know where I was or what I was doing. Because I feared that if they looked at the status screen and saw the production screen, that they would trip major balls. So yeah, I'm kind of scared to expand here. I'm trying to save my unit by putting them all the way into the back, and lo and behold, I actually get pretty damn close to saving him, but he died a hero's death anyway. Now, if you're going to do a build like this, where you sell all your units all the time, regardless of how many you can make in one turn, because I believe I can make 3 in Isrin in one turn right now, which is just baller. It's turn 27, you're not supposed to be able to double up units yet. And those are tier 2 iron too, so like it's pretty weird. Oh, I can make 1.5. Okay, well, whatever. If you're going to do a build like this, you need watchtowers or scouts or whatever, because you need to know when the enemy is coming, and well, when and if the enemy is coming, basically. Now we auto there because it said we were gonna win. And then we lost anyway, which is pretty pretty upsetting. Yeah, I used open broadcast software, and it was really good. It's a really good program. Except for this game, I was using Camtasia because I knew this was going to be a long game, and if I use... Okay, this Empire plan is really big. Shit, I missed it. Well, you want to get 33% building reduction because cheaper buildings. You want to get the approval rating because, once again, lots of districts, lots of unhappiness. So, approval. You want to get the rush buy thing. Here we are resyncing, by the way. You want to get the rush buy thing because the plan is to let the two new cities focus on food and grow in population, while the other cities build units and that we're going to sell, and then we're going to rush buy buildings in Karsh and Ganli. That's basically the gist of it. So you want that, and then of course you want the unit production in your turn 30 Empire plan. The unit production will allow you even more units, even more production. It's just awesome, right? So like tons of units, tons of gold. You need 300 Empire plan points for that with 3 cities, which should be really easy to get as the Wild Walkers, because you can get that that tech that gives you 5 extra influence, if I'm not mistaken, for every city improvement that you build in your empire, and every regional improvement. So we're not trying to sell all of our units here, we're just trying to be able to clear out all these roaming armies, which is long overdue actually. And we're going to make ourselves our second unit, which we're going to equip with all iron, and we're never going to change until the end of the game. These are called money with ears and money with horns, and you want to alternate those. Like you want to build one Minotaur one thing, one Minotaur one thing, because if you sell only the same type of unit, the price of that unit is going to drop dramatically. And if you sell different types of units, the price will reset slowly over time as people buy them, or as they just get, you know, shoved off the market. And we're looking to get some heroes while we help this guy with his stream, since he wanted to make a necro tutorial for me, which I'm not going to pass up, since that is Casper, the best necro in the world, and arguably one of the best players in the world. I still haven't beat him, so Casper. Yeah, you wouldn't say you'd pronounce that as Casper, but you definitely pronounce it as Casper. He explained that to me. Kasper Ksiminski. Yeah, Machete is a really good editing program that's compatible with OBS. But it's been a long time since I set up my OBS, so I don't really know the options. And the heroes that we can get are quite crap indeed. Like, I'd love to get that Wild Walker hero with industry efficiency too, but he doesn't appear to be home, so that's kind of sad. So we're just gonna get some cultists then, which are not bad. You know, they're great if you want to just get that last bit of influence, or that last bit of science, or that last bit of dust that's going to prevent you from going bankrupt. You know, as you can see, every winter period we are losing a lot of money, and we're forced to sell a unit every once in a while. We're also selling units when we don't need to, which is really bad. You don't want to do that. You want to wait. You want to wait with doing that until you have all of your garrisons filled up and sell in bulk, like I said before. But I didn't have the patience for that, mostly because this was a multiplayer game with like 6 people in it. So like, yeah, it's, turns were taking quite a bit, and I just wanted to get some things done. Now this game is at 500% speed, because there was a lot of things that I needed to talk about. And we are getting some palladium so we can build those awesome plow factories that are really going to help our cities grow to even higher heights. New heights. Now, once again, I said this before, but this start and this region setup is so inefficient for the faction that we made. The only region that is functioning the way that it should is a wild forest right there, because we want to settle in a forest region, and you know, none of the luxuries that we got were any good either. We only have one source of glass steel. It's just shit all around. Well, we have two sources of glass steel, I'm lying. Two sources of glass steel, one of titanium. Could be better, it could be better. Now we noticed that Wrath is dying to Magog. But we don't really care about that. If the Voltas decide to attack us, we can crank out an army in like 3 turns. We can crank out like 2 stacks of level 6s. And I was looking at that hero, which is actually a really good hero. But not so much late game, I don't think, because he doesn't have any bonuses to your units. But that chain lightning disease attack is it's pretty good. He can get chain lightning and then apply disease on all of the units, and then he can get chain lightning capacity boost, make him even stronger. So it's actually a pretty good hero. Now here we are properly saving up units, I think. Still not completely properly because we want to get these national museums and whatnot, so we're selling units to buy adamantium, which we don't have any of, so yeah. And all the while continuing to build burrows. Statistical method is a really strong tech if you are using this setup, because well, you get science for every district, so you're gonna have a whole lot of districts. Yeah, here we're looking at all the screens. We're on top of most of them, but we haven't met red, so we don't really know what's going on. We still don't want to go check though, because like he might have more, in which case he's going to attack, or he'll probably have a higher military, in which case he'll go attack. And I won't get to do my thing, which is kind of what I wanted to do this game. I just wanted to sit back and do my thing for a bit. Now here we're finally equipping our proper ranger, but that's going to take some time before we can properly make that guy. We don't want to go all full glass steel or full titanium or full glass steel titanium on them, because we don't have a lot of resources, so we need to improvise and give them only the cost-effective things. So we want to give them the titanium ring and the glass steel bow, and other than that, I think it's full iron that we give them. Maybe some extra titanium, I don't really remember. Probably the titanium boots, since the titanium boots give an extra 10% attack, which is pretty good. Still getting palladium and adamantium for our national museums, plow factories, and we're finally getting some good heroes in this screen, so we're gonna go ahead and get a few of those. Oh shit, that Empire plan was pretty big as well. That Empire plan gave me negative 50% on military upkeep, and as you probably remember, I already have negative 50% military upkeep from cannon fodder, so effectively we're not paying our troops. Because we're hobos. You know. It's kind of our thing. Which that's nice. You do still need to pay for city maintenance though, and you need to pay for the garrison slots in your armies. Now, I'm going to post this with the setup that I used in this video, but I'm also going to post some alternatives. I have two alternatives. One has Veins of Auriga, and the other has Veins of Auriga and Big Armies 1 and 2, but no living towns. They do need to get Slow Travelers 1 and 2, but I'll explain how that isn't that bad. Slow Travelers reduces your movement speed by 2, which is gonna suck at the start of the game. But late game it really doesn't matter, because you can get so many movement speed boosts. Your units will have a speed of 9 instead of 11. Well, who gives a shit? You know, it's all about action points anyway, so yeah, that's fine. Now we're entering Age 4 already, and we're guessing that we're pretty far ahead in tech. But we don't really know. And at this point I probably should have expanded a lot sooner, but you know, once again, I didn't want to alarm any more people than I needed to. Now I met Purple because he's next to me, but I know he can't declare war because he's not using a custom faction, and whatever mercenaries he has are not going to be stronger than my units, because I'm flooding the market with crap units, so there you go. It's an effective strategy against the roving clans. Just flood the market with crap units. You can take that even further and build the crappiest of crap units. Sell those. And just go from there. Should be pretty fun. You're fighting for the state of the nation. Ah, Staden. Awesome. Yeah, the extra science on district is really strong, because again we have a lot of districts. Some good stuff. Let me just sweep over real quick. But this is pretty much the setup that we're going to go with. We have a production line finishing in Wild Forest and Wild Plains. We're going to get automated production as well, giving us +3 on tiles with industry, including the forest, so that's pretty damn good. And in the second part of this video is when the epicness starts, really. The second part of this video is sending out an SOS to the world and giving it to everyone, which is pretty good. But yeah, the element shortage really sucked. Anyway, be sure to watch the next video, because it's going to have an epic late game war in it, and you're gonna want to watch, because anyway, thanks for watching, and bye bye.